welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Michelle, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 10 grocery staples that I buy pretty much every single week. I do as much of my shopping in bulk as possible just to save money. So there's some things that I buy not every week, but I do eat every week, and I'll share those with you after we go through the 10 staples that I do buy every week. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video and it gives you some ideas of what to buy if you're on a brand new journey on a whole food plant-based diet or a vegan diet, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you know when I have new videos coming out.
Ask your mom.
So the first thing on my list of 10 things that I buy every single week are some sort of greens. We go through a lot of greens around here because I love to juice, I love to make smoothies, we have big salads every single day, and it's very important to me to have greens for myself and for my husband and my son and our growing baby, because greens not only give you vitamins and minerals, but they provide a lot of roughage, and it's just something that is really vital to our health. So I highly recommend having lots of greens in your diet. So under this umbrella of greens, I would consider things like mixed greens, like a really large box I buy in bulk every single week. We go through that really easily, 1 pound to 2 pounds of mixed greens or spinach or kale. Other things would be celery or broccoli, green onions. I love to use green onions lately. They are my favorite to have raw or in a dish. And with the raw leafy greens, these are something that I can use at pretty much every meal. I can throw them into a smoothie by the handfuls and have some greens in my smoothie. I can put them into a large salad for both lunch and dinner. I can saute them. I could have some steamed spinach on the side. Raw greens are definitely something that I use on a daily basis. And then with something like green onions, I can chop those up, use them in a Mexican or an Indian dish, and it's just really good to have on hand if I want to have them fresh in a salad. Broccoli is a wonderful thing that I love to have steamed with like a dinner, a pasta, a grain, or some beans. So those will all get used up throughout the week for sure, and something that I buy all the time. The next thing that I buy all the time is some kind of fresh fruit. We eat a lot of fruit around here, and fruit really does get pretty demonized, I would say, in the mainstream culture. Fruit is wonderful for immunity boosting. It has a lot of vitamins A and C, which really help keep you healthy and vital and hydrated. We always buy a couple bunches of bananas. We buy a really large box of oranges because we use them to juice, we use them to have in smoothies, we eat them whole. Another fruit that we always buy every week is apples. I love to just snack on apples. I use them when I make green juice. We slice them up, we eat them whole. They're great to take on the go for a snack for my son in the car. Fruit is my favorite kind of snack. Like right now, what's in season are peaches and mangoes and strawberries and blueberries, and I am just loving my life because those things are available, and all of this organic produce in the summer is such a treat for me and for my family. We definitely snack on fruit often. So whether it be a mid-morning snack for fruit, or sometimes breakfast will just be whole pieces of fruit sprinkled with a little bit of flaxseed or chia seed. An afternoon snack when it's really hot, it's just wonderful to have fresh fruit on hand. The third thing that I buy weekly is some kind of plant milk. We used to make our own almond milk all of the time, and we still do that, but sometimes it just gets a little bit too hectic and we need to have something to just grab and go. So I like to buy organic soy milk and organic coconut milk. I mean, it's really versatile. You can use plant milks for pretty much everything. If you're making a sauce for dinner and you want to make it a little bit creamier, you can do that. I use coconut milk when I'm making any kind of curry. And then I can use coconut milk and put them in the ice cube trays and make little ice cubes of coconut to make popsicles for my son, which he's really enjoying in these hot months. Throw them into a smoothie to make it just a little bit thicker. Of course, if you have coffee or tea and you want to add some plant milk to that, that's an option as well. If you're having oatmeal, then you want some plant milk. Plant milk is something I feel like we use so often, just something that we go through really quickly. Next up is lemons or limes, and I buy these pretty much every single week. I buy really large bags of them, and I use them for so many things. The citrus of the lemon and the lime is something that I use in salad dressings pretty much on a daily basis. Something that you can use if you want to make like a cheese sauce, like for macaroni and cheese. You need that little bit of lemon just to give it a little bit of an acidic taste. If you're making things like a curry or a Mexican dish, lime is super important. And then I just really enjoy in the morning having some kind of lemon or lime water. It's very alkalizing for the body and a great thing to have first thing upon waking. So we go through a lot of lemons and limes, and I do find myself buying them every single week. And next up is avocado. We eat a lot of avocados around here. I try to have small amounts when I have avocado, but I pretty much have avocado every single day. So avocados are great to throw in a salad, provide a little bit of creaminess to a salad. A lot of times in place of oil, I'll just mash them up. I'll use a base of lemon juice, mashed avocados, some garlic, and some salt and pepper. And that is a really easy dressing that you can have on any kind of salad. Avocados are really essential. There's a lot of avocado toast going on around here. Something that we definitely eat 2-3 times a day between all of us. Eli loves avocado, and it's a really great fat for young kids to have as well. Tomatoes are another staple that we go through all the time. I love how versatile fresh tomatoes are because yes, you can have them in a salad, and I pretty much have them in salads twice a day, but you can also chop them up, you can roast them and blend them and make a really nice tomato soup or a really fresh marinara. So we go through a lot of tomatoes. Next up, garlic or onion is bought on a regular basis around here because we use garlic in pretty much everything. Like I said, again, salads, garlic, onions are used all the time. Any kind of savory meal we're making, normally I start with garlic or onion, whether it be raw or whether I'm sauteing it into some sort of sauce. Garlic and onions are something that are really big staples to me. And the money that we spend on a weekly basis, all of these really simple ingredients that I'm sharing with you, like garlic, like onion, like avocado, like tomato, like fresh fruit, greens, all of these things really complement each other, and you can make meals actually out of only these 10 staples, which is really cool. Next up is potatoes. Any kind of potatoes, really. I love Yukon Gold potatoes, but russet potatoes are something we buy all the time. Sweet potatoes, Japanese potatoes, purple potatoes. Potatoes are extremely satisfying and again, very low calorie, high volume foods that you can eat a lot of, but not gain weight, which is awesome. I love potatoes. So we make things like no oil fries, or we can chop them up and roast them in the oven, put them into enchiladas for a filling. Potatoes are so versatile because you just spice it up with particular spices and it can be very comforting. You can mash potatoes, you can make French fries with them, you can put them into soups. They're really versatile and something that we eat all the time. Next up is some sort of plant-based protein, which I buy every single week, but I like to switch it up. And like I said, because I buy in bulk, things like dried beans could be the plant-based protein for that week. I could buy something like a block of tempeh or a block of tofu, some fresh edamame. All of these things are good protein sources for a vegan diet, but I really enjoy rotating so I don't get sick of what I'm eating. I'm not a huge fan of tempeh or tofu, but I like to have it around in case I want to make some kind of different recipe. And I do throw it in on a weekly basis. But for sure, we eat beans all the time, every single week. And it's great to have lots of beans in your diet anyway because of the fiber content and the protein content. And the longest living populations in the world have a lot of beans, and there's a lot of really great benefits to having them in your diet. So there's always some kind of plant-based protein around that we eat in the week. And the last thing that I buy on a weekly basis is some kind of frozen fruit. And I buy these in bulk. So these are like very large bags. I feel like Costco's a great place to get frozen fruit, or if you have access to some kind of wholesale store, because you get so much more than you would just like a tiny little package from a regular store. So that's a great way to save money, and I just rotate. I normally go through an entire bag of frozen mango every single week. It's just mine and my son's favorite fruit for smoothies, and we have smoothies pretty much every single day. But I rotate with things like frozen pineapple, frozen strawberries, frozen blueberries. Even just having some frozen fruit on hand with a little bit of plant milk is a really easy sweet dessert or dinner if you're really lazy and it's really hot outside and you don't have a lot of time. I have frozen dark cherries. You can make things like popsicles with a little bit of plant-based milk and some frozen fruit. And frozen fruit is just such a great thing to have on hand, and really budget friendly, like I mentioned, because if you don't have enough money to buy fresh fruit all of the time, at least you have some frozen fruit. You're not losing any of the nutritional value when you have that. And I just really like to create like a little bulk pile of different fruits so I have a lot of variety to go to make different kinds of smoothies or popsicles or what have you. Okay, now I promised some bonus items. These are not things that I buy every single week, but they are things that we eat as a family every single week, and I thought they're worth mentioning. Real quickly, I'll just run through them. So my first bonus is vegetable bouillon, and my favorite two brands are Better Than Bouillon vegetable base or Rapunzel bouillon cubes. I use those alternately to either saute vegetables in rather than oil, or to make big batches of soup like potato soup or split pea, or beet soup. There's so many options that you can use with vegetable bouillon, so I always have those two on hand, and it really just depends on the recipe that I'm making which bouillon I will choose to use. The next one, these are things that I buy in bulk, which are grains and pastas. We eat these as a family every single week, but because we buy them in such large quantities, we're only buying them like maybe a couple times a year for like the big brown rice bag that we buy, or once a month if it's coming down to different kinds of pastas and things like that. So we save a lot of money by buying those grains and pastas in bulk, but it's definitely something we eat all the time. Next up are steel cut oats. I feel like they're very versatile, they're really minimally processed, and again, I buy a giant bag of these probably 2 to 3 times a year, and they last our family of 3 a really long time. Eli has oatmeal pretty much on an everyday basis. I have oatmeal sometimes for breakfast. You can put them in the Vitamix and actually make oat flour, which is great for baking. I make pancakes for Eli for breakfast a lot, and I'll just blend up the oat flour with a ripe banana, some plant milk, a little bit of maple syrup, salt, and baking soda, and voila, you have pancake batter that is truly healthy. You can even throw some of your greens in there, and kids don't even notice. Oatmeal is something that we use pretty much on a daily basis. I also use it in savory meals like the lentil loaf that I just recently shared a video on. Oatmeal is where it's at. Next up are diced tomatoes, so cans of diced tomatoes. I love making things from fresh tomatoes, but diced tomatoes are much more economical and obviously have a longer shelf life than fresh tomatoes. But we make things like marinara sauces, fresh soups with diced tomatoes. You can roast them and create a really savory sauce for a pasta. They're really, really versatile and definitely something that we use all the time. And then the last thing that I'm going to share with you that we buy more in bulk and not every single week, but we do eat on a regular basis, are nut butters or seed butters. Almond butter, peanut butter, or tahini. I'd say those are my 3 that I use the most. And again, I buy either in bulk or I buy a regular size, but we don't have that much that often, but they're great to have around. So I'll put peanut butter or almond butter into oatmeal just to add a little bit of creaminess to it. I'll have snacks like banana and peanut butter or apple and almond butter alone. Tahini is great because you can make things like hummus, which we do pretty much have on a weekly basis. I love hummus. It's a great spread to put on wraps, put into a salad. Eli likes it plain, Chris likes it. It's a win-win for all of us, and tahini is something that I use when I make hummus. So those are some extra bonus items. I feel like this list that I've shared with you today is something that is really attainable. If you're just starting out and you don't know what to eat and you want to have a healthy vegan diet, these are food staples that you can have on a weekly basis that are going to help reduce disease, stay healthy, have just overall general feeling of well-being. And if you're trying to lose weight, all of these foods will also aid in weight loss, which is awesome. These foods are fresh and they're from the earth and they're plant-based sources of real nutrients. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to eat your multivitamin, eating color and eating ripe fruits and vegetables and whole grains and beans and legumes sprinkled in with a little bit of fats like avocados and nuts and seeds and nut butters. It's a great place to start, and it's also super budget friendly. I did a video a really long time ago, and I'll link it below, sharing how to only spend $150 on groceries per month, which is pretty insane, honestly. I don't even spend that little, but what I get at in that video and what I hope you get from this is that I buy as much of the grains and the beans and the legumes in bulk as I can, and then every week I'm buying more fresh produce, which is going to be a little bit less expensive. So you could spend in a month's time, you could spend the majority of your money on stocking up on things like diced tomatoes, tomato paste, some oatmeal, some rice, a big case of plant milk, and just staples that stay in your pantry for a long time. And then you could spend about $20 to $25 on fresh produce every week if you're going to a regular grocery store. Of course, if you have the opportunity to buy things in bulk and you have a larger family, I'd say research your options wherever you live, because there's really great options now for organic fruits and vegetables that are fresh, as well as frozen fruits and vegetables that are going to be organic and healthy for you and your family. So this is a really simple way to eat. I love to cook and make lots of recipes and make things complicated because I find it fun. But when it comes down to it, you can eat really simply, not spend a lot of time worrying about your food, have these grocery staples every single week, and be healthy. So those are the 10 things that I buy every single week, really grocery staples for our family. We love to keep as many fresh fruits and vegetables around as possible and have lots of whole food, plant-based options for our family to eat on a regular basis. I hope you got some inspiration from my list list. What's on your list? I'm curious. Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you know when I have new videos coming out. If you're looking for more plant-based recipes that you can start with, I'll leave some playlists down below, as well as check out my website where I have a ton of free recipes, as well as a free plant-based cookbook for you to get started if this is all brand new to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.
Give me all of your time, baby, will you be mine? 'Cause I need you here.